Back to that Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.
All right, my next guest is someone who's no stranger to the Kevin McCullough radio and now television audiences. In fact, just recently, he visited with us to give us some good news about what the United Nations had done by way of an important organization that I care very much about, Christian Solidarity International. But this visit, not surrounding as good of news, and it's a pleasure to welcome back Dr. Joel Veldkamp from Christian Solidarity. Hello, Joel.
Hi, Kevin. It's good to be here.
I'm just hearing wind of this through some of the headlines on the Salem News Channel, but there is an uprising going on in Pakistan. 2 Christian men have been accused of desecrating the Quran, and there is widespread violence in the aftermath of this. Do we have any handle of actual facts of what happened?
Yeah, we know that yesterday morning, a mob of several hundred, if not more than 1,000 Muslims attacked a Christian neighborhood in a city called Faisalabad, and 2,500 Christians lost their homes. They're terrified. They can't go back. It's not safe for them. Many homes were burned down. At least 8 churches were burned, I believe, and it was equal opportunity. You know, the Catholic Church was burned, the Salvation Army Church was burned, the Anglican Church was burned. It was just an outpouring of anti-Christian hatred, motivated, like you said, apparently by an accusation that Christians had desecrated the Quran.
Do they have full Sharia, what they would consider full Sharia law in effect in Pakistan?
Not to the same extent as like Iran or Saudi Arabia, but it is part of the judicial system. And we see that reflected in laws like the one that makes it a capital offense to insult the Prophet Muhammad.
And what do we know about the specifics of the circumstances that these 2 men are accused of?
Any number of things could have happened here. We've seen in the past, there was a case where a young Christian girl with Down syndrome, a local Muslim leader in the community wanted her family's land. So he burned the Quran himself and stuck it in her pockets and then accused her, right? So it's this atmosphere of like total terror where this could happen to any Christian at any moment. And I doubt we'll ever know what exactly set this mob off, but it could have been anything.
The aftermath is, and I just saw an update, 9 churches burned to the ground, homes for 2,500 people. What does the government say about this type of thing? Obviously, they're not interested in equal protection. Do the global governments have anything to say about this?
I haven't seen any meaningful statements from other countries. Ironically, just today, Secretary of State Tony Blinken from the U.S. congratulated Pakistan's new prime minister on his new job. Didn't make any remarks, as far as I could tell, about this huge pogrom against Christians in Pakistan. The statements from the Pakistani government are more interesting. They condemn the violence and they have arrested a lot of the rioters, but the local police said they're also looking for the 2 Christian men who were accused. So they're also being hunted by the police. The victims, in a sense, also have to hide from the police.
If they've arrested the rioters, is there a chance that some degree of justice will be meted out here?
No. Sorry to be so blunt, but probably they'll be let go, or maybe they'll make a show of a few individuals. But the fundamentally unjust part of the system here is that Christians can be accused of blasphemy at any time, and then the full weight of society and the legal system comes crashing down on them, and there's almost no protection.
Do we know if anybody has died in the violence at this point?
Not that we know of. We think everyone got out in time, which is a blessing.
Are there any faith organizations that are speaking out on this? I'm assuming Christian Solidarity International will release some sort of statement about it, but are there any church denominations? Is there anybody coming to the aid of these Christians?
Yeah, I mean, CSI is already providing aid to the Christians who were displaced during this violence through our local partners. The Bishop of Pakistan had a very eloquent statement, and I thought it was very courageous on his part, because it's not always so easy to speak freely as a Christian in Pakistan about attacks on Christians in Pakistan. I'm sure we'll see other statements in the coming days. But certainly these people need a lot of solidarity. They need support from their brothers and sisters in free countries like the US and in Europe. So our mission at CSI is to make sure they get that support.
Is there any sign that they that the violence will continue?
We never know. That's kind of the terrifying thing. The last 24 hours or so have been calm, I would say, but this could flare up again if the police step too far in arresting perpetrators, or if some local religious leader decides he wants to make a big deal out of this, he could flame it up again. We noticed in a lot of the videos of the attack that the attackers were chanting slogans for a particular Islamist political party in Pakistan. And this party is kind of a newcomer on the scene, and they're trying to make a splash. So it could be that someone in this political party wants the violence to continue. And is going to find.
Is that particular party more radical than some of the older groups that are established?
Yes. It's called the Tahrik al-Labik, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Extremists tend to compete with each other to see who can be more extreme.
What is some of the aid that Christian Solidarity is assisting with?
So far, we've been distributing cash to the families that have been displaced. But again, this just happened less than 24 hours ago. So we need our local partners to do an assessment, find out where these people are, where they've been displaced to, and what they need in those places. I can well imagine.
It'll probably be the usual housing, food, water, clothing,
medical treatment,
medical stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, friends, I strongly support what Christian Solidarity does globally. I think that they are the tip of the spear in terms of the fighting back against persecution, particularly for people that are persecuted for their faith. And if you want to make a gift, 888-342-1010, you can make that call right now, 888-342-1010. Be as generous as you can, and just let them know you want it to help and assist the believers in Pakistan. You can also go to csi-usa.org and make a gift there as well. That is also effective. Dr. Joel Veldkamp, thank you for your time today. We appreciate the update.
Thank you, Kevin. God bless you. God bless your listeners.
You got it. 888-342-1010, friends. 888-342-1010 or csi-usa.org. Kevin McCullough coming right back.
Ready or not, he'll be right back.